All right, in this explainer, we're ripping right past those glossy magazine covers and taking a deep dive into the gritty, totally unfiltered reality behind Silicon Valley's legendary overnight success stories. If you've ever found yourself wondering what it literally takes to build a tech empire completely from scratch, well, you are definitely in the right place. So what does it actually take to build a $120 million startup? I mean, it's a staggering number, right? It sounds like an absolute dream come true. But as we unpack the source material today, you'll see the path to get there is anything but a straight line. This one core question is going to guide our entire journey. We're mapping out an 18-year journey today, tracing this timeline from age 18 to 22, 23, 25, 29, and finally to age 36 to see the true, unvarnished roadmap of a founder's life. Let's kick things off with part one, the dream begins and the hacker house reality. $0. Picture this. You're 18, fresh out of high school. You know for a fact you don't just want a regular job, and there is no way you want to work for someone else. You want to build the next big thing. But here's the harsh reality check. You've got these massive ideas, sure, but absolutely no team, no money, and ironically, you still haven't even figured out how to do your own laundry. And your salary? Exactly zero. Fast forward to age 22, and man, there is a massive contrast. You've just spent 4 grueling years getting a computer science degree. We're talking endless group projects, drinking terrible coffee, dreaming incredibly big. Meanwhile, all your friends, they're snatching up these safe, ultra-comfortable corporate jobs at places like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. But you make a choice that sounds completely absurd to normal people. You literally pack your entire life into 2 suitcases and move to Silicon Valley to live in a hacker house with 6 guys named Kyle and exactly 1 bathroom. And the immediate financial payoff for that massive leap of faith? Yep, still $0. Despite 4 years of coding, moving across the country to the tech capital of the world, your financial reality hasn't moved a single inch. Which brings us to part 2, the trough of sorrow. Welcome to the real glamour of Silicon Valley, folks. You're 23 now. You are crammed into a tiny apartment in the Bay Area. Your office desk is literally a cardboard box, and I'm pretty sure your diet is about 80% sodium at this point. From this incredibly harsh setup, you're desperately trying to build an AI voice support tool for small businesses, genuinely believing that investors are going to see your demo and just start throwing bags of cash at you. But they don't. Instead, you fall straight into what I like to call the rejection loop. You build the demo, but investors just look at it and say, it's a bit too early. The founders you talk to give you the classic, we'll think about it. It is a completely devastating cycle of pitching in constant rejection. And the craziest part? You are exactly 1 missed rent payment away from having to pack up and move right back into your childhood bedroom. Negative $15,000. So, at 23, this financial sinkhole perfectly mirrors the immense emotional strain you're dealing with. You aren't just making 0 anymore. Your net worth is deeply, painfully in the red. All right, part 3, gaining real traction. And then, suddenly, the breakthrough actually happens. One company finally says yes, and then another one follows right behind them. Your little AI voice tool is no longer just a glitchy demo. It's out in the wild, handling real calls, processing actual refunds, and managing bookings. It actually works. Because of this massive win, you're finally able to hire a small team, and you raise your very first round of real, actual money. But literally the second you start popping the champagne, you hit a massive wall. You realize something terrifying. Building the product was actually the easy part. The moment you hire that team and take investor money, the entire game changes. You now have rigid payroll deadlines breathing down your neck. You have to fix critical bugs under insane pressure. And honestly, most terrifyingly, you have employees looking directly at you every single day, expecting you to know exactly what happens next. The financial picture does finally shift here, though. $80,000. At age 25, you're finally pulling in a livable salary. This marks a really critical milestone. You've officially transitioned from pure survival mode, negative bank balances, and working on cardboard boxes to actual company management. Moving into part 4, the stress of scaling. Okay, now you're 29, the startup is growing fast, dozens of companies are relying on your AI. The investors who ghosted you years ago, they're suddenly calling, claiming they always saw your potential. From the outside, the expectation is that your life is basically a permanent beach vacation. But the internal reality, it feels like playing Jenga in a windstorm. Instead of freedom, you are completely suffocating under the panic of keeping this growing company afloat. Honestly, it feels exactly like having 50 children who all suddenly need health insurance.
This creates an unbelievably fragile ecosystem. It's a total chain reaction. If the product goes down for even a minute, your clients panic. If the AI hallucinates or gets something wrong, your phone lights up instantly. If your team starts losing faith in the vision, the entire foundation of the company shakes. Every single one of these failures rests squarely, 100%, on your shoulders as the founder.
$250,000. Now, to compensate for all this absolute chaos, your salary bumps up to $250,000. And while that is undeniably a lot of money, in the context of what we just discussed, it's essentially hazard pay. It is the literal price tag for the immense psychological stress you're enduring every single day. Which brings us to the grand finale, Part 5, the $120 million exit. Then, boom. The so-called overnight success arrives. You're 36 now. A massive tech giant swoops in and buys the company. That little AI tool you were coding on a cardboard box in a tiny apartment, it's now worth millions. The team is celebrating, the media headlines roll out, lauding you as this brilliant, visionary success story. But what the public totally missed, they didn't see you crying in a Taco Bell parking lot at 2 a.m. years ago. They didn't see the excruciating emotional toll this journey took. They missed the nights you sat there staring at your dwindling bank account, or the sheer, undeniable willpower it took to just keep building when absolutely nobody cared. $120 million. It is an absolutely staggering contrast to where we started, right? 18 years earlier, you started with exactly $0, a crowded hacker house, and one single bathroom. Now you have officially crossed the ultimate finish line. And you know what the ultimate reward is for all this? Aside from the massive, life-changing payout, obviously, the deepest sense of relief comes when you finally get to hit delete on your LinkedIn profile. The relentless networking, the endless pitching, the exhausting hustle, it is finally, officially over. Which leaves us with one final, absolutely crucial thought to chew on today. The headlines are always going to call you an overnight success, but are you actually willing to pay the hidden price? It's a massive triumph, for sure, but it demands an unseen, incredibly grueling toll. Think about that the next time you're reading about the latest Silicon Valley universe. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it gave you a brand new perspective.